Welcome to today's episode of Sassy Detectives. We're your hosts,
Tori
and Rae. We are here to talk about anything and everything Nancy Drew, and today we'll be talking about warnings at Waverly Academy. Roll the intro.
No, sorry.
But anyways, so we get to talk about quite a fun game today.
I think this game, I don't want to give too much away of my view, but should I give an overview of my view?
I mean, I've listened to your cat and mouse episode on your other podcast where you did about it.
Yeah, my lion and mouse episode.
Yeah.
Big cat and mouse. So yeah, this game...
lion. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I know
I
what you meant.
cats, okay? I constantly have cats on my mind.
Lions are cats, so it's fine.
They're just big kitties.
So basically my overview of warnings at Waverly Academy is atmosphere and puzzles are great, but the character and some of the logistical connections fall flat for me. And so I guess I'll talk more about it in depth as we go through the game, but
I basically play this game for like the coziness and the vibes and the puzzles. Like that's it. And also like the iconic parts of it, like the ending, so iconic. So much of the dialogue, so iconic as well.
I also have a take that the culprit in this game is among maybe top 3 for me, like, worst villains in regards to, like, terrible person.
Oh yeah, but she's up there, yeah, and she's definitely one of the most ambitious out of them.
And also,
like,
one of the few that has, like, literally attempted murder, but we'll talk about that too, I guess.
Well, attempted murder aside from Nancy at the end.
Right, aside from Nancy at the end. Like, harmed other people to the point where they could have died.
Yeah, multiple people, yeah. But this game, I basically play just for the vibes, because the vibes are, like, 10 out of 10 for me, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, maybe they're not as strong as, like, Legend of the Crystal Skull, but they're still, like, the cozy winter kind of mystery vibes, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's, you know, I don't know. It's fun. I like it. I like the vibes. The vibes are very nice.
Yes. Would you like to start talking about the, just the story? Like, we'll just start at the top of the game?
Yeah! Alright, so the top of the game actually does not start out with Nancy. It starts out with a cutscene, of somebody being, isn't it somebody, like, yeah, she was inside the supply closet, was it the snack shop or something?
Yeah, the snack shop supply closet.
Yeah.
She gets shoved
She's in there. And somebody locks her in there, and she's, like, screaming and banging on the door, like, help, let me out, and everything. And then it turns out, you know, you find out later on in the game that she was locked in there overnight, and she was extremely claustrophobic, and so she was, like, in shock, in terror, just inconsolable by the time they got her out, because, you know, claustrophobia and being locked overnight.
I can't imagine being in, like, a fight or flight response like that for literally overnight.
Yeah, it was like just thinking about that, especially
that's because the black cat is bad.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying it. I'm saying it now. Bad news bears.
Oh yeah, because you doesn't she like have? Oh wait, no, she doesn't have it in the beginning. But you find out that she did. But that girl in the cutscene, she eventually goes home from the academy and everything to, you know, recover because that was traumatizing. And so her roommate, Corinne Myers, is without a roommate. And so when the school asks Nancy to go investigate, Nancy is Corinne's new roommate. And Nancy, yet again, has the airport lose her luggage. And so she has one bag of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it. And so she comes in there with like a school uniform and a singular bag of stuff, and she meets Corinne. And it's like, damn, Nancy, you just... Wow. That's not a very, like... How many times has the airport lost her luggage?
I would say 90% of the time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. But yeah, it's Nancy. But anyway, she goes by the new name of Becca Sawyer because they know that if these girls know Nancy's real name, they're going to Google her and find out who she is and stuff. Because, you know, teenagers like to Google each other and find each other's social media accounts, which I will say is accurate to teenagers. Because it's like, what do you mean you don't have Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or YouTube, or literally anything? Like, what do you mean you're not on the internet at all?
Yeah.
Like, in that day, it wasn't as uncommon as it is these days, but it was still, like, you're a teenager at a private boarding school, you're gonna have some kind of social media thing.
Yeah.
But poor Becca Sawyer has nothing, but she did just come from France, so that's cool, I guess. And so basically you can ask Corinne about, like, the other people there and stuff. And after you do that, you can go to your desk, and there's a note from one of the other students, Rachel, who's like, hey, Becca, can you help me with my homework project? Because I don't have time to do the rest of it and stuff. And so, yeah, she's got that to do. For Nancy, and so Nancy's like, oh, cool, chores. And you can also put a picture of Bess and George on your desk. So that's nice. But then when you go out of your room, you run into the, is she the class president or something? Is that what she is?
Izzy?
Izzy, yeah, Izzy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, so you run into the Regina George of this school. The most popular, the most, like, powerful, the richest girl. Is she the richest? I'm not sure. But, you know, she acts like it. Izzy Romero. And she sees Nancy. She's like, oh, no wonder you're going so fast. Your hair is on fire. And Nancy's like, what? Huh? What does that mean? And she's like, oh, I'm just commenting on your red hair, you know? Some people can't pull it off and stuff. And Nancy's like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And it's like such a backhanded compliment, but also very, like, very Izzy. Very anyway,
Izzy.
Izzy's like, if you ever need, like, info on the school or anything, you can come to meet me in the school library because I'll be working on the computers for my report and everything. And so that's where you can find her. And then you can go to the right down the hallway, and if it is during the day, you will hear all these cello noises coming from the room next to you. And that is Mel Corbelis. She is the resident goth girl, and she is great. Is she a little judgmental? Yes. But I don't care. She's fun, and I like her. And then for the other person you can find on this floor, you can go to Rachel Hubbard's room, and you can just knock and come in. She's the only one who doesn't have a roommate. She has a smaller room than everyone else. And so she has that room, and when you go in to meet her, she's, like, super stressed out.
Yeah.
And she's like, hi, I, like, have no time to do anything. Because I really flunked this one test of mine, and it sucks. And I'm suffering, and I have to do all this stuff, and I don't have time, so can you help me with it? And Nancy's obviously like, okay, sure, I'll help you. So basically, for Rachel, you have to take, like, pictures of stuff. And that just is something you just do all over the place. And then for this one, the first, because you have like 2 different photo things you have to do for Rachel, which is the photos of the girls, and then you have to do photos of stuff around Waverly Academy. But yeah, that's what it's like meeting Rachel. And then you can go downstairs into the rec room area, and you can meet Lula Yadav, and she is the resident jock, and she has giant eyes. I'll just say that right now. She has giant eyes that distract me every time.
I used to have a friend in high school that looked like Leela.
A friend in high school, but there was this girl in my choir who looked like Leela.
That's crazy. Maybe it was the same girl.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. There's probably more than one girl that looks like Leela.
Yeah, and I think the ages might be a little off because she was a year younger than me, and I don't think somebody younger than me would have been going to high school with you.
They would have been very young.
Yeah. like that's a bit young for in high school, I think.
It's like that Disney show in the late 90s that was Smart Guy, and it was like a 10-year-old 10th grader or whatever.
So that is basically all the girls that you can talk to in the area. Those are all your suspects in the hall that you are in, which is Ramsey Hall. Right? Ramsey Hall, right?
Yeah.
Why am I second guessing myself? I've played this game a million times. I think it's Ramsey Hall.
Yeah,
is it?
yeah, it's
or
Ramsey.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, I can't like replay the game at this moment to figure it out, but I do know Ramsey Hall. I do know the game. But yeah, so you can do that, and they also tell you about a few other things. So if you break enough rules, you will get sent out because you will be earning a lot of demerit. So you can get like +1 points, and you can get -1 points and stuff. If you add on demerits, that's bad. And so, like +1 is bad. And so that's like if you are out past midnight, if you miss your chores, if you steal things, if you pull the fire escape too many times, or every fire escape thing is, a thing, like jumping out
out a window.
Also, yeah. Just there's a lot of ways you can get demerits. I have never done a demerit playthrough. I've known a few people who have done them, but I'm too much of a goody two-shoes.
Yeah, same. I will sometimes friends of mine while I'm playing Waverly with them, if I'm like, hey, I'm gonna force you to play a Nancy Drew game, because I've done that to friends throughout the years. There have been instances where I've played like a playthrough of Waverly, and they are like, let's put a fire alarm over and over until we get kicked out. So like I've seen what happens, but I don't ever play that way.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't mean to insultingly mimic my friends. They don't talk like that.
It's like me also mimicking actually anyone. I was gonna say myself, but
every time I just am repeating what somebody did, it's always just like with that exaggeration. So it's not anything personal.
Oh, let's just break the rules. And then I'm like, no, I can't. Like, I am in a very long process of doing a low honor playthrough of Red Dead Redemption, which means you have to constantly break the law and stuff to be a bad person. But because I don't like breaking rules and being mean in video games, I still have, like, neutral honor.
Oh.
Because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna help this person on the side of the road who needs help. And, like, I'm gonna help this widow get back to her husband and stuff.
Because that's
and then in here, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to pull the fire alarm because I'll get in trouble. Ah!
I'm not gonna knock on Paige's door 42 times in the middle of the night.
That would be really funny, though. I should do a playthrough like this, because you can be such a chaos gremlin.
Yeah.
But, Yeah, so the demerit system, that is what you figure out when you go onto the school website. Which you have to get your student ID from Izzy because she's the class president. And what do you have to do to get your student ID from her again? Is it the DNA puzzle?
Yep.
Yeah. I love that puzzle.
It's not hard for me. I've had a lot of
No,
people
it's
think that
easy,
it's
it's
hard.
fun.
But I don't think it's very hard as long as you pay attention to the tiny pink pegs. If you can pay attention to the tiny pink pegs, then you're golden.
But yeah, I really like that puzzle. I think it's really, like, cool, I guess. I don't know. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I
like
think
most
it's fun too.
puzzles.
And it's not super difficult as long as you pay attention to the, like, pink bond pieces.
Yeah, they're cool. So you can get your student ID, and then you go to the computer and you sign in, and you can look at the student webpage and everything, and sign up for like the student phone thing. Actually, no, there's a little phone group chat text alert system that Izzy hooks you up with in the beginning when she gives you backhanded compliments about your hair. But then when you go downstairs, you can look at all of the on the computer, you can look at like the Waverly website. They have like a little database of books and stuff, and like where they're checked out to and stuff. And you can also play the matching game. I forgot what it's called, but there's this game where it's like you have to find the matches and stuff. You know, that typical game.
Yeah.
And if you get the high score enough times, you can get you can lose demerits or get award points
Yeah,
for
credits.
that. Yeah, you can get credits. And so that helps you out a lot. And but if you are like into it enough, which I am not. So
Yeah, it's not my favorite way to get credits. I would much rather do the snack shop, which is the other way you can get credits.
And that is what you learn about when you're on the computer here, because you go on there, because in your messages that was like, you have to check everything on the school website, which is why you need your ID and stuff. It also tells you about that you need to look and see where your chores are for, you know, your school stuff. And your chores in this one are to be in charge of the snack shop, which is very fun. I'm gonna move my mic a bit real quick.
Okay.
Let me see how I can move. Okay. Does that sound better?
You're a little quieter than you were a moment ago.
Oh, okay. Is this better?
Still a little quieter.
Huh. Cause my mic. Okay. Is this okay?
That's good.
Okay. Huh. I wonder if it's just that side of the microphone. Well, anyway, so you can get all your info from the website, and you can also like do what I do, which is look for every book that has been mentioned in the games on the school website, which you can find a ton of them on there, which is really fun. There's also a lot of punny names, which I appreciate. But you can find like Hotchkiss's book and stuff. So that's cool. What else do you find on the website?
We see the like valedictorian race meet the candidates, which is where we have to upload all the pictures that we've been taking for Rachel, which I think is so funny that like Nancy is this student who is apparently transferring in like November, okay? And she moves into this hall with all the valedictorians. She's probably not in the running for valedictorian because she's joining in the middle of the school year. And as she's introducing herself for the first time to all these girls, she's like, hey, can I take a picture of you? And snaps a picture on her cell phone. It's so funny to me.
It is. The funniest thing about the photos, though, is that like barely any of them look actually good because none of these girls are photogenic.
Yeah, the pictures all look bad.
Yeah, the pictures all look bad, but I take it as a challenge personally, to take the worst photos possible.
Why do you want to take them all again? Because Rachel will be like, oh, the zoom's
well,
bad,
I'll get like
whatever.
a good photo. I'll get like a good photo that I'm like positive will do it, and then I'll get like the worst photos ever along with it.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah, I wish there's a way to just use the worst photos anyway,
Yeah.
and then get like Izzy screaming at you over the phone or something.
Take the picture, Becca.
Yeah, it's so funny. But you realize there is one person who you cannot get a photo of because she's not there, and that is Megan Vargas. And Megan Vargas was a victim of the Black Cat, which you start to learn about more now. Because you learn about it a bit through Corinne at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But then you keep learning more about it. It's like, oh, what happened to Megan? Like, why isn't she here? Oh, Megan, Mel's roommate. Oh, yeah, she was attacked by the Black Cat, and so she had, like, what was it? Was it, like, a peanut allergy or something?
Yeah, so Megan, she had somebody put peanuts in her food at in the cafeteria at lunch who knew she had a peanut allergy, and she had to get like 2 or 3 rounds of epinephrine at the hospital, which means she was basically knocking on death's door. And her parents were like, you're absolutely not going back to that place. You're coming home. So now she's at home, and I don't blame her parents at all, because
oh no,
why
her parents
the heck?
are absolutely right for that.
Yeah, why the heck would you be like, oh, here's something you're allergic to that could cause death because your anaphylaxis is so bad it causes your throat to swell up and you can't breathe? I'm going to do it anyway. That's why this culprit sucks. I'm sorry, but I know a lot of people are like, oh, but you know, it's not as bad as... No, it's bad. This one is bad.
Oh, yeah. Listen, she is an evil girl boss, and I love her for that.
She almost killed Megan.
Awful. She is awful. She is a terrible person, but she is a great villain because it's like, damn, girl, you did all this for that? Wow. Which is like, damn, that's impressive. Okay, imagine if she actually had, like, even bigger stakes.
Yeah. So, I know Megan says that Izzy has a picture of her, so you have to get her picture from Izzy. Not Izzy.
No, it's
Leela.
Leela.
Oh, yeah. Gosh. Leela.
So, to get the picture from Leela, you have to play air hockey, and you have to be Leela at it. And I hate air hockey in this game. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
I just...
Do you like it more or less than Scram?
I like Scram more. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I love Scram. I think it's fun.
I actually think both games are fine.
One thing I will say is that sometimes, miraculously, I am suddenly in the mood to play air hockey. And sometimes, when I am in the mood, I'm really good at it. But I will say that is very much so not often.
I think air hockey is typically faster. So if I need to get something from Leela and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, I'll usually choose air hockey. But if I'm like feeling like it's fine, I'll just take the time. I'll go with Scram.
Here's the thing. I can always guarantee I will win at Scram because I'm really good at it. I cannot always guarantee I'll win at air hockey, and then I'll have to play it a million more times. And I hate it. So you have to play air hockey with her. And apparently, hold up, let me do some Googling. Picture of Megan. That is not the right Megan. That is the TV. That is the movie Megan. Nancy Drew. Let's see. I don't know if this is true or not. Oh, okay. So in Waverly Academy, there's apparently this thing where, like, I don't know if it's true or not, but it was spread around where if, like, if you lose enough times, Leela feels bad for you and gives you the picture of Megan. I'm not sure if that's true or if that was just a conspiracy presented by Tumblr Clue Crew girls. Girlies. But,
We should send a message to somebody like Indy or Rue.
Yeah, about
Or
about
Kalina.
the picture of Megan. Like I'll have to do more research on it. But anyway, so then somebody on Tumblr went around and like if you it's called Picture of Megan, the blog is, and so many people would be like, I failed at this, oh my gosh, in the Clue Crew at like stuff in the games, and then Picture of Megan would be like, here, you deserve this, and send them the picture of Megan, reblog their post with the picture of Megan
Uh-huh.
and stuff, and it's constantly like that. For example, like somebody said, you you mean to tell me Nancy has plenty of credits on her phone card and brings $0 with her overseas? And then picture of Megan reblogs it with money, with like coin, what is it, like clip art stuck to the picture of Megan, and it says for your struggles and stuff like that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and it all happened like a week before I came to Clue Crew Tumblr, and so I was there like, what's up with picture of Megan? And they're like, oh, I don't know if I can explain this. So I'll have to like actually go back on there and stuff.
You could use it for the episode meme.
Yeah, for the yeah. Yeah, so I'm on the page right now, and it's insane. But
I will also say,
yeah, there have been a few scandals like that, but this one with Waverly Academy. So every time I think of the picture of Megan that Leela gives you, I always think of this blog. But I cannot actually remember if it's true or not that she gives it to you out of pity if you lose enough times.
that would be funny if so. We should find an answer.
We should.
Real quick though, I remember I have a very funny memory with Scram. So, a really good friend of mine.
Tell me your Scram memory.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think Scram is the more confusing game if you don't understand the like what you're supposed to do. So I was in a voice call like this with a friend of mine, and he was playing through Waverly Academy on stream. And I was just kind of like chatting, and like I'll talk about Nancy Drew or whatever, and we'll make jokes. And we get to Scram, and he just stops and goes, "What in God's name is Scram?" And for some reason, I thought it was so funny, and I couldn't stop laughing. So I have that memory with Scram.
Posted a question for my friends on Tumblr. I need an in-depth picture of Megan, timeline, and explanation. Stat! Which I think they will oblige with and give me what I need.
Yes.
So, because they love talking about their own little scandals because it's very funny. So, yeah. We have a lot of really weird scandals in our fandom. But that one was one that I just heard through osmosis after being there like a week or so after it ended.
Yeah.
But anyway, so picture of Megan! You now have a picture of Megan.
We have all the pictures now.
Yay! And if you get all the photos and stuff done, you can go to the library and do the little puzzle to match everything up to what Rachel says everything is. And if you take the pictures wrong and you upload like a really bad photo, Rachel will be like, "This photo is bad, take it again." But like not in as bad wording as I did. But you'll have to like redo the photos if they're wrong. But then she'll ask you if you can go in and put them all together in the way they need to be. And it's one of those little logic puzzles where it's like, this person who likes this can't go next to this person who likes that. This person who lives here can't go near anybody who lived in the general area of this place or something like that.
Yeah.
And I love those games. I love those. They're so fun. It's so cool. I love them. I love those little puzzles. I don't know. It's dumb, but cool.
No, I think I like puzzles like this. I think logic puzzles like this are some of the most satisfying for me to solve. It's similar to me like the seating arrangement in Haunting of Castle Rock. Like similar to things like
I love that
for
one.
me. I love that puzzle.
I love that one. That puzzle. It is so good. I love that puzzle so much. I could go on about my favorite puzzles in these games, and I will shut up right now. Because otherwise I will be so annoying. So, anyway, one thing we also have to do is do our daily snack shop stuff, which I love. I love the snack shop. It is so much fun.
I also love the
and one of the
snack shop.
things, and one of the things I love about this game is you can also listen to the gossip and stuff. And you get to hear about so much juicy gossip from everyone. The fan favorite has got to be everybody's crush on Mr. Harris, who some people have interpreted to be apparently like looking like Indiana Jones or something, like inspired by Indiana Jones.
Well, Indiana
which I
Jones
completely
is
understand.
handsome, so I could get that.
Yeah. But like, everybody's like hot professor and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I love listening to like all of the gossip and all the ones like, can you believe she wore that shirt and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Or it's like this one teacher stinks, and I'm like, ooh, I'm glad I don't have that teacher, I guess. But as you do that, you can make all these like little like sandwiches and stuff for them. And my favorite thing about the snack shop is how funny some of the sandwiches are.
What are you talking about? Don't you love a not toasted bagel with lettuce, and not toasted bagel?
I prefer warm lettuce bagel, thank you very much, where it's toasted bagel, lettuce, toasted bagel. Personally, that's my favorite.
What about a toasted bread, tomato, cheese, tomato, cheese, toasted bread? How do we feel about that?
Oh, so we're getting into teacher orders now.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Because we also have the teacher orders, which are insane. It's this insane list of toppings to put on the stuff.
How about
and it's
slimy
like,
ham?
Maybe one person can unhinge their jaw enough to eat this.
Yeah.
And it is a snake. A snake can unhinge their jaw enough to eat this one. Otherwise, we're gonna have to like, how at McDonald's when you get your burgers, they always look like they've been punched multiple times? You have to do that with these sandwiches to actually put them in your mouth with the teacher's orders. They're insane.
Which some of these snack shop orders are so large, they're really meals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but like the sandwich for me, like that would be a meal. Like you get a sandwich,
that's what I'm saying.
You get
and
an
then
orange,
not only that,
you get
this girl's got a sandwich that's like 17 layers deep, and then she's also got a cookie and some granola and a milk, and like I'm just like, this girl's starving.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen. Academic studies make you really hungry.
That's
okay.
True. I snacked a lot during study sessions.
Oh yeah. The hungriest I've ever been was when I was in school, and this counts during college as well, doing a ton of studying. Like, you get really hungry. I don't know what it is about thinking super hard for hours at a time, but it makes you hungry. So, like,
also,
who cares if a girl needs her emotional cheese, tomato, lettuce, tomato, lettuce, cheese, meat, cheese, bagel,
and I
sandwich.
am not going to not deny her that. In fact, I enjoy the snack shop so much. It's actually my vote for my favorite food-based minigame in any Nancy series. Or in any Nancy game.
It's so fun!
Yeah.
I think mine is like a tie between this and also the cookie game from The Silent Spy.
Okay, that one's solid too.
Because that one is... I like shapes. I think shapes are very fun.
My second choice would be the cheeseburgers in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, but I feel like it's not long enough.
That one... Yeah, I don't think it would be long enough, and it's also not repeated. But I do like that at the end you can make the absolute most insane burger you've ever made ever. Because it's chef's choice. And so they're like, yeah, just give me whatever burger you want to make. And I'm like, you do not
You're
know
gonna
what you
regret
just
that
asked
today.
for. Just like, oh, you want me to make whatever burger I want. Oh, honey, this is a bad idea. This is a very bad idea. Anyway, I'm sorry. I love being a little gremlin, a little goblin.
Sorry,
causing
I
my
just had
little
like
issues.
I just like choked on my saliva and coughed. I don't know if you even heard it.
I did.
Okay.
I also did that yesterday when I was shopping, and I was like, nobody look at me. Nobody look at me. I'm just choking on my own spit in the middle of a
Yeah.
store. But anyway, snack shop, the best cooking mini game, I think. It was so much fun. But anyway, so after that, after you do your first snack shop, a key falls down from the counter, and you're like, oh, what is this? And I forget which key it goes to. Is it for the snack shop thing?
Wait, what
You know,
now?
the snack shop. The
What
key
about
that falls
it?
down after you. Yeah, is that for?
It's the second time you have a set of teacher orders, and then you finish. Somebody drops a key to, like, drops a key over the counter at you.
I do not remember what the key is for. Is it the cellar? I think it's the cellar. But anyway, you can also go into the storage closet for the snack shop, and you can see a bunch of stuff in there. Like there's just like a lot of just food supplies and like cleaning supplies and stuff. And all I remember is like a bunch of the juices and then salt and pepper shakers. I don't remember what else is in there other than
There's a
cleaning
key you
supplies.
can get
like
in there
what you-
too.
Yeah, the key. Well, obviously the key. That's what I was going up to.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I think it's just
no,
like
I-
other
I-
random stuff. Nothing else that's
it's
important.
just stuff. But part of me wishes you could steal from there, because like, what stopped Nancy from stealing before? Nothing. She steals whatever she wants. That's just
Yeah.
part of Nancy. But then you can get the key in there, and it's like, ooh, fun key. I do not remember what it goes to. But anyway, then you can.
I know that the next thing that, like, when you finish the valedictorian webpage, she gives you another list of things to take a picture
Yeah.
of. It's like icons around Waverly, so we have to start taking those too. And then I think at some point,
Oh, yeah, you get these little like text messages
yeah,
about like who's doing what and stuff, and you find out that Mel has been attacked by the black cat, which means that she now has well, there are rumors that she got a black cat message. But she has also been accused of plagiarism for her latest paper that she turned in. Because there's something else in the system that matches it.
in paper
And-
trails.
In Paper Trail. So Mel asks you to go and check in Paper Trail. And she tells you that all she remembers of the IP address that she was trying to track down for it was that none of the letters? None of the numbers matched, and so you have to look and find the stuff, the
IP address.
yeah, the IP address. Why did I forget that? Because I literally just
That's okay.
yeah. Anyway, so then you go back to Belle, and when you get all the IP address and stuff, because you figure out that it was what was it? Yeah, it was this guy who is very consequential to the relationships of two of the girls here. So this guy, Jacob something, he used to be dating Leela, but he is not anymore. He is now dating Izzy.
He's going to the dance with Izzy.
Yep, and Izzy and Leela. Leela is like the main sporty girl. Izzy's the main like political girl who's like super popular and rich and class president and everything. And they are roommates, and they're not doing well. But then like yeah, so you find out that the person who plagiarized it, was that well Izzy's boyfriend right now because he broke up with Leela. Let's go over to Izzy, and Mello's like, "Oh wow, that's bad," because you know it is.
Mm-hmm.
And can you take over for a bit? My brain is kind of like fuzzing
Yeah,
out.
so
You know?
it's just like that. So that piece of gossip sort of like, obviously makes Mel upset, and it kind of gives a lot of suspicion onto both Izzy and Leela, I think, because of their association with Jacob. And then around this time of the game is also as you're taking pictures of the different icons around Waverly for Rachel, you can go outside for the first time, and you can use one of the keys that you found to open the cellar. So if you go down into the cellar, there's like all these cardboard boxes, and they have like books in them, and you can kind of look there. I think there's like 4 or 5 books that are lookable. So if you look at those, you can they all come into play at certain points. They like help with different puzzles or whatever. Also, if you've looked around Mel's room, and you have seen the tapestry in her room, it mentions more. So if you go to the Waverly Academy website and you search that into the library page, it leads you to a book in the special collections called the Book of Four. And you're like, oh, I really want to check that book out, but it's in a locked case. So if you go back up to the desk, it says that the on-call library assistant is Corrine. So you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll go talk to Corrine and see if I can get a look at that book. So if you go to Corrine's room, she makes a deal with you because this is a Nancy game and you can't ever just get anything. You have to always do something for somebody because
Yep.
how dare anybody just extend kindness to you out of the goodness of their hearts? So anyway, she wants you to basically, which this entire game, this is, okay, I'm going to take a moment to talk about this. Number one, I don't really like any of these characters. I think Mel is the best character of all of them, but even her, I don't feel super strongly about, nor do I have a very deep attachment to. And I think it's because, yes, it's not uncommon for Nancy games to be that Nancy does everybody's chores in exchange for things. But in the context of being at a school and all these girls are vying for valedictorian, but yet they pass their homework off to the new girl, it rubs me the wrong way. Just a little bit. Because I like the puzzles, and we should have puzzles in the game, but the narrative of the story giving these puzzles to Nancy makes it seem like these girls are so lazy that they can't even handle their own workload or want to handle their own workload. So it gets me a little bit annoyed, but that's just a critique while I'm thinking about it. So anyway, Corinne's like, hey, I need you to do these orthographic views for me. So I really like this puzzle. Just
So fun.
You know, I know that that's very different than the rant I just went on, but like I do like this puzzle. I think it's very fun. I think one thing I really like about Nancy games in general is that I think the puzzles are very interesting in the way that in different games, different puzzles that are designed for that game or for different parts of that game or from the character or for the setting that game is in or whatever the case may be, a lot of them are like real world knowledge skills that are like taught to you via these puzzles. I think of the things like, like the sirens in like the siren map in Trail of the Twister, the orthographic views here, stuff like that. And sure, it may not be like super 100% accurate to real life, but I think it's like the basics, all the marine bio stuff you have to learn in Deception Island, those kinds of things. I just appreciate the effort that goes into a lot of these puzzles. So, you do the orthographic views. Corinne gives you the cabinet key. You take it, you get the Book of Four, and it's about the founders of Waverly. So a lot of that has to do with Rita Hollowell.
There's something else outside.
Uh-huh.
There's something else outside that we forgot to mention.
Oh, the cornerstone plaque?
Yes!
Yeah.
So that's another important part, yeah.
Yeah, in the book is the picture of the founders standing at the corner of the school, and the one lady's kind of like gesturing toward the corner of the wall. So if you go back outside and check on that, this is another puzzle where you can like take the pieces and rotate them, and you have to put them back inside the square. And it's basically a tangram puzzle is the best way I can describe it, right?
Yeah. The little illusion thingy, yeah. But it's really fun. Though, so if you are really tired and your brain is exhausted, you will go insane.
Yeah, because everything doesn't look right.
Yeah, but anyway, so then... so you can put that together.
Yep.
And then we also have...
So when you open that...
Isn't there like a little journal?
It's the journal of Rita Hollowell. And then you also see like a little star on the top of the book, and a white squirrel comes by and steals it.
Casper!
Mm-hmm.
We love Casper. And immediately after Casper steals it and runs away, Nancy gets a call on her phone. From Ned!
Ned, our darling Ned.
And, like, the first time I ever played this, I was so ready to, like, chase down that squirrel. And then Nancy's like, oh, well, Ned's calling. I'll answer my phone. And I'm just like, no, Nancy, you idiot. Run after that squirrel. Climb that tree.
Yeah.
Obviously, she doesn't do that, but, part of me wishes she would, because it would be funny. That's all. That's the only reason why.
So you can, kind of follow the lead on some of those journals, and like one of them brings you to the piano lamps that are right inside the entrance, like kind of on the left when you first walk in the front door, and they have musical notations on them. And if you have ever played a piano or understand like musical scales, then you're like, oh, this can correlate. But if you don't, it's good to look it up. So you can go look for piano books in the library thing, and you'll find out that Mel has the piano book. So now we got to go ask Mel about the piano book, which I think, if I remember right, I think even if you as a player know the musical notation, Nancy has to read the book before you can solve the puzzle.
Yeah.
Because it's like Nancy has to know the knowledge. So if you go to Mel's room to ask about the music theory book, what will happen? She will ask for a favor because, you know, that's just the thing. And she's like, I really want to get milk and cookies, but I have a reputation to uphold, and people will not be scared and intimidated of me if I have milk and cookies from the snack shop. And so you're like, okay, weird take, but all right. So you go and you do snack shop again, and you get milks and cookie, and then you bring it back to Mel. She gives you the piano book. And then if you read it, you can do the piano puzzle. So you basically just start, the middle C is marked with a little star, which is helpful. And then you play like the bass hand and then the treble hand. And then you get a little starburst token thing. Not starburst like the candy. It's like a star. And it's got a cat on it. And you're like, oh, this is neat. Meow, I guess.
Meow.
And then another puzzle is in the journal is the Victorian dinner puzzle, I think. The celebratory dinner. At some point too around this time, I think you get a text and it's like a photoshopped photo of Izzy and Corrine together. Which is just funny, if you think about it. Because... You know Izzy ain't doing that. And when you go to talk
Imagining,
huh?
I'm just imagining like a real life situation where you open up your phone and like somebody airdropped to the entire school a picture of the one of the least popular kids who's like one of the biggest nerds with like the coolest richest kid in school, and it's like really bad photoshopped, and it was airdropped to everyone like, oh my gosh, we're besties and stuff. Like, I'm just imagining like how weird that would be in real life.
And also, who would believe it?
Yeah,
Like, it's so
especially with the
obviously
bad
doctored.
Photoshop.
It's like
It's so
you know how
funny.
like you know how there's like a legit problem nowadays where like older generations truly have trouble
Yeah.
like recognizing AI. It's like, okay, maybe if this was sent to Pa from Trail of the Twister, he would think it's real. But this is a bunch of 17/18-year-olds. They're gonna know it's not real.
And it's so funny how Izzy gets so angry about it when it's clearly fake, and she's like, well, it's obviously fake, and I'm so mad about it. I'm just like, girl, nobody thinks it's real.
Yeah, like you might as well just laugh about it as well.
Yeah. And it's like, and also like, why are you so offended by this, really? Like, it's
Yeah. So, back to the like dinner etiquette puzzle. So if you go to the silverware cupboard or whatever, the display case, you'll see that there's something like a menu or something that's checked out by Leela. So we have to go to talk to Leela about that, and then she'll give you the menu if you beat her in a game. So you can pick, I think. And then we also need a book to go with this, so you have to go talk to like, I think you can search either like dining or Victorian or something like that. And you'll find out that Rachel has this book. So now we gotta talk to Rachel. And she's like, oh, I'll give you that, but I need my math notebook from Mel. And then Mel's like, oh, I don't have it. It's in the library. And so now you have to go track it down. Which I think is so annoying. And you can't find it, so you're like, oh, it must be in the lost and found if it was left behind. So you have to do a Roman numeral puzzle, which is not difficult for me. So I also learned Roman numerals in school growing up, so that was like a pretty normal, like easy puzzle for me to figure out for the combination.
Me too.
What about you? Did you have any prior Roman numeral knowledge?
See, I was a weird homeschool kid with autism, so obviously I did.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I was a homeschool kid too, but
The Roman numerals, listen, the Romans, they may have had a few problems, but their number system was absolutely so slay. It
yeah,
was
so solid.
cool.
So solid.
Like, is it way harder to write with and to understand? Yes, but is it cool nonetheless? Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, my mom taught me Latin, which is unusual.
Damn,
but
girl.
I don't remember any of it, but I did take it.
The only Latin I know is from Fallout New Vegas.
I know, like,
So.
some, like, famous phrases, you know, like,
Oh,
vini,
that
vici
too,
and stuff like
that
that. But, okay, so we get the notebook. We can take it back to Rachel's room. We get the dining book. Now, oh, also there's a student ID card just, like, shoved in here that Nancy's just gonna steal. So Nancy has now stolen the identity of a student in 2 ways at Waverly. So I personally think this is the most difficult puzzle in the game. What about you?
One.
The silverware puzzle?
Yes!
I think
God!
this is, yeah, I personally think that this is the most difficult one. And the reason for that is because, so you have to look at the menu. The menu tells you, obviously, like, what was served and in the order it was served. But then you have to take the order and, like, the menu and correlate what category that food would fall into, which then correlates to what piece of silverware you would use for that thing. And it's just like a very long multi-step process. But then you have to match the description and the picture to the actual piece of silverware on the wall. And I just think it can get very confusing very fast. And while I think it's a good puzzle, I do think this one probably takes me the most time of anything in this game.
I think it's like a tie with this and also like the wall puzzle at the very end.
Okay.
That I just don't like the wall
Also,
puzzle
maybe
at the
the
end.
tree puzzle.
The tree. I can't think of the tree puzzle
Where you're
without
chasing
thinking,
Casper. We'll get to it.
Yeah, I can't think of that puzzle without this one meme I made a while ago. I'll get it to when we get to the tree puzzle. But
Okay.
anyway, the silverware puzzle? No, screw that. I hate it.
Yeah,
But at
it's a
least it
hard
looks
one.
pretty.
But once you solve it, you get another one of the little token things. This one has a little gorilla on it. Now, at this point, you do have to sleep at some point. So, you've pretty much done, I think, everything that you can do up to this point. So, the next time that Nancy goes to sleep, Nancy will be woken in the middle of the night to a tapping noise at her window. And if she gets up, you'll see the little white squirrel that stole one of the coin things out at the window. And so Nancy decides, I'm going to climb out this window and I'm going to chase him up the tree. Because, okay, parkour, I guess. So this puzzle, I think, is also very difficult. And I think it's difficult because I'm not very good at, like, memory puzzles in general. Because I'm not very confident in my memory a lot of the time.
My has decreased over the years because I used to be like an expert at puzzles like this.
Yeah.
But I was also like 7 years old, you know?
Yeah. I definitely think my long-term memory is better than my short-term memory. And I think that's because I have gotten to the point where, like, I prioritize brain space in the moment. And if I don't think it's going to benefit me right now, I kind of, like, let it just fly through my head, you know? Anyway, this is... You chase Casper up the tree in 3 different levels. And it's like 5 memory spaces on the first one, and then it's 8 on the second one, and 9 on the third one. And if you get any of them wrong, Nancy will fall to her death. So that's comforting.
Can I mention my meme that I made?
Of course.
Because I used to make a lot of like Nancy Drew crack videos on YouTube back in the day. And in one of them, I had a clip where it was of the second chance from this, where Nancy falls because she steps on the wrong branch, and it breaks. And as she's falling, it slows down to slow motion, and it's in black and white, and it's playing Only Time by Enya, where it's like, can't see where the road goes. It's as Nancy's falling to her death, so that's what I think of every time I think of this puzzle.
And it's like slow motion. She's like slow motion
falling. But yeah. So,
but then you get back the bug token that he stole. So now we got all 3 tokens. And then when you're up in the tree, you'll look down and you'll see a cult circle chanting.
Yeah! It's cult time!
I mean...
Kind of.
But it sure is spooky looking, and I remember the first time I played this game, I was like, what's going on over there? But, you know, every good mystery needs a little bit of, like, a cult moment, you know? So...
At least, like, some kind of hooded figure kind of thing, where it's like,
something mysterious.
Or, like, a mask
some mysterious shadow. Or figure.
Yeah. Like, you cannot see who it is, you just know that they're doing something that's kind of weird and suspect, you know?
Yeah.
But I do want a Nancy Drew game. Wow, I'm so good at speaking.
It's okay.
But I do want a Nancy Drew game that actually has, like, a real cult aspect of it. Because, like, that could be, like, so interesting.
It would be pretty interesting. In the
hard to
book
do.
that Secret of Scarlet Hand, the book that game is based off of, literally has like this weird cult party, and they make Nancy drink this like drugged beverage.
That's to read that book.
Yeah, it's a crazy one. That one's a crazy one.
I know they also have like The Secret of Redgate Farm, which is like, oh, so this is like toned down children's KKK. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
Because like I remember reading it as a kid and being like, what's going on here? I want a cult different than that.
So,
I want a cult where like it's
Yes, we've got our little cult chant. Nancy climbs down the tree when they leave, and she finds a little ribbon barrette thing on the ground. So she's like, I guess I'll keep this and see if I can find who it belongs to. So then you go back to Nancy's room to sleep. Yeah. And when you wake up...
sleepy time.
Wait, go ahead.
Yeah, it's sleepy time. Oh, but can I also mention, so if you are caught at night in the halls and stuff, sometimes Paige will come and find you. And so that is why you're not allowed to be out past curfew, because Paige will come and find you. But apparently, you can hide from Paige, and I have never known that until the year in our Lord 2021. Yeah,
okay, so I never knew about the, like, hiding behind couches sneak thing until, probably, like, a year or two ago. Yeah. And somebody was like, what do you mean you just run really quick through the hallways? You can, like, hide behind the couches. And I was like, no, you can't. And they were like, yeah, you can. And I saw a video of somebody's cursor changing when it, like, hovered behind, like, over a piece of furniture that you could hide behind. And I was like, what? I had no idea.
I'm still too speedy. I'm too speedy and mischievous to get caught or to even have to hide. So I've never done that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I had to say about that part at night.
That's good. So if Nancy goes back to sleep, you wake up and you get a note from the black cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, you don't get it. You see it under the desk because Nancy drops her phone. And when she gets down there to, like, pick it up, she sees a black cat note. And she also sees this tile thing. So she picks that up. I think it's Oklahoma.
Yep, it's Oklahoma.
And then you can, like, talk to people about the barrette. And you basically find out that it smells. And so you're like, well, this is where I got it. And this is what I saw. So you gotta fess up now. So she reveals about the Blackwood Society, which is this, like, tradition that's been going on since the beginning of Waverly. And all they do is, like, gather in their cloaks and chant the chant and then go to bed. And that seems like a very strange thing, but okay. You know.
Can I say something real quick?
Of course.
Yeah, so you know how we find the wooden state of Oklahoma thing?
Mm-hmm.
That's because the next game was Trial of the Twister, which takes place in Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure.
Oh!
So every once in a while, we'll have a little, like, tiny hint as to what the next game will be.
I don't think I realized that. Wow!
It's very seldom where I can, like, figure out what it is, but, like, for example, in White Wolf of Icicle Creek, one of the harder versions of the snow shoveling on the ice puzzle, it spells out cry, or CRY, which is the abbreviation for Legend of the Crystal Scroll, which came right after. So, yeah, just a little tidbit of info. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, man, that's cool.
I mean, there's also, Fiona Malloy? Who had in her bedroom, you can find a little thing about Waverly Academy, I think. But that was 2 games after that one. But that's okay because Ransom of the Seven Ships doesn't exist anyway because it's a bad game, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
So then the next thing I think that happens is we get a text message about the Poe book being spotted in, like, Izzy's bedroom. So we're gonna break in. Uh,
Yeah.
so if you go to Izzy and Leela's room, it's the only room that like nobody is ever in. So you have to bust in. So the way that you bust in, which this took me a while to figure out because I was like waiting for a key or something, but no, you take that student ID that you stole and you shimmy it between the lock and the door and it opens it up. And now you're in their room. And you can check for a bunch of things. So there is the missing book in here. And inside the book there's like this piece of paper that has like a bunch of dates on it and all of these Poe titles on there. And then if you look at the desk, there's like these pictures. If you pick one up, picture frames, there's a key taped to the back of one. One of these is a picture of Jacob.
Izzy. Yeah, but Izzy has a photo of herself on her desk.
Yeah.
Which I think is hilarious. But also, the picture of Jacob, like, this guy, why are you girls fighting over this dweeb?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, girls.
You could do better. You could do better.
This is who y'all mad at each other about. This is
your man. And you're gonna stick beside him.
I'm gonna stick beside him. So,
yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah. I'm like, Jacob hasn't had his glow up yet. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
So, the key opens the trunk. If you go to Izzy's trunk and open it up, you'll see a Blackwood Society gown. So that's pretty crazy.
What? It is the blue one. The
blue one. Oh, yeah, that's the leader one.
Yeah. So now you know. Gasp. It's Izzy leading the Blackwood Society.
Mm-hmm. And then I think you can go confront her about this. So you confront her about the society, and she's like, fine, I will repeat the chant to you. And I'll never forget it. This is something that's like stuck into my head now. It's 3 is fine, but 5 is more. Even 19 defeats 4. Should just 7 become lore, at least 2 will find the door. That's like stuck in my head now. So that's the weird chant that they were chanting. I think we can do a couple other puzzles. Oh, one of the puzzles, now that we have the Oklahoma piece, we can break into a classroom. So you have to do this at night. So you go to Nancy's room and you sleep until night, and then you sneak, and you avoid Paige. And
I have to tell you about this, hold up, because when you're at night wandering Waverly Academy, you hear this creepy violin music. I think it's called The Devil's Concerto. Yeah, by Tartina. Violin Sonata in G minor. Let me see if it's the same one, because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's this one. But you hear Violin Sonata in G minor by Tartini being played with a solitary violin with this great echo at night, always, when you're traveling. And it's so... And you especially hear it in the classroom scene. In the classroom area, you have a really good... you can hear it a lot from there. And it's just such a creepy atmosphere, and I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I just had to mention that because you get a lot of like the cello music, but a lot of people ignore the violin music in it. I'm just like, no, they have this one piece that's just so cool. The way they put it in there.
That's cool.
Anyway,
that's a neat little tidbit.
Yeah, it's cool.
So if you sneak through to the classroom now and you break in, there's a couple things that happen. So, the first thing is that if you look around, you'll see that there is a little, panel with a raven on it. And it looks kind of similar to the raven that's drawn in Rita's journal. So if you, press the raven's body parts in the order that they are listed in her journal, then what will happen is the whole map, wooden state map on the other end of the room will fall apart, which makes it, the first time I played this, I was like, oh no, I did it wrong. But that's what's supposed to happen. And then you have a US state map puzzle, which I don't think is very difficult, but I do imagine it is atrociously difficult for anybody who doesn't live in the States.
Yeah.
Because, like, if they were, like, Canadian provinces or, anything else, like, even, like, a map of Europe or something, like, I would know some, like, but I wouldn't know them all. Like, it would be difficult for me. So I apologize for the difficulty that this must be for those international fans.
Yeah, this puzzle was really easy for me, simply because this might be one of the most autistic homeschool things I've shared on this podcast yet. But when I was a kid, I really liked maps and geography. And so I memorized every state capital, and I could, from memory, point out which states were where, including like all of New England, all those tiny little states. I knew all of that, and I would also like draw out the state lines on like blank pieces of paper and stuff. And like I couldn't draw, but it was pretty accurate for like a 10-year-old doing autistic stuff with a piece of paper and stuff. So this puzzle was really easy for me. Has this knowledge come in handy as an adult? No. But it has come in handy for a singular Nancy Drew game, and so that is what I'm thankful for it for.
Yeah. And I do think this puzzle is very pretty, like the different like wood grains and stuff. I think it's so visually like appealing.
Mm-hmm. I love like it's like if sad beige moms had like all their beige paint taken away from them for a week.
This is what their furniture would look like.
Oh no, I'm forced to have these nice pretty wood grains to teach my children with. Haha, sucks for you, I guess. Now you have to look at pretty pieces of trees. Haha. Sorry, that was really bad.
No,
I don't know. Yeah. I like looking at wood. I think wood grains are pretty. And there are nice wood grains in these states. Imagine that out of context. I don't know what to say about that. Anyway.
Yeah. No, that's fine. So you finish the puzzle, you get another token. So now you get the Raven token.
And what do we see out the window?
Out the window, we see Rachel walk by. And we're like, oh, that's unusual. What is she doing up so late? So we're going to go break into Rachel's room because, privacy is nothing to Nancy Drew.
It's so funny because it's like you see a student out at night, your instant thought, let's break into her room.
Literally.
Oh my god.
So
I mean, like she was kind of like stealing food from the snack shop, but like at the same time, why are you breaking into her room? I mean, like I know she's solving a mystery and everything, but still, imagine if Nancy or if Becca were like a normal student.
Becca Sawyer.
And she's just out there breaking into people's bedrooms all the time. Like, oh, I saw this girl downstairs. Well, now I'm gonna break into her bedroom. What?
So we go into Rachel's room, and we are met with another puzzle on the wall. And I really like this puzzle. So basically...
Mixed feelings, yeah.
Yeah, so basically you have to kind of, like, touch each star once, and you can only pass through one of the line paths once. So you basically have to like draw a line from each one star to the final one in whatever order.
So it's so
sense.
Nice when you finally get it.
Yeah.
If you are really, really tired, then it's really hard. But if your brain is, working
active,
well, it's so much fun. And it's so very pretty as well. Because it has the little stars and like the cool little geometric designs. I think it's pretty. I think pretty puzzles are awesome. Because not only are they fun to do, they're fun to look at.
We're always here for the aesthetic vibes.
Oh yeah, obviously.
So we finish the puzzle and it opens a secret tunnel. So you go into
Secret
that room,
tunnel
and
through the res hole. Secret, 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 secret tunnel.
ta-da! So you go inside, and lo and behold, what do we have here? We got two girls that look the same. Rachel's
We
a
got
twin.
wings, baby.
Rachel's a twin, and her sister is Kim, and they have been sharing the scholarship. And one of them lives in the wall, and while the other one lives a real life, and then they switch. And I don't really know anything about Harry Potter, but I imagine that they trade off on the Dobby schedule or whatever, to just put one behind the wall.
So my thing, so the reason they did this, which a lot of people ignore and say, oh, they were just both trying to get scholarship at the same time. What they were doing is they wanted to be in that res hall because it had, that secret room and stuff. I don't know what they were doing before that. But they wanted to be doing that together because only one of them was able to get the scholarship, and that was Rachel. And they didn't want to have one of them stay with their dad because, their mom died when their dad was, like, unprepared to just suddenly be a single dad and everything, and they didn't want to do that to him. And so they were like, you know what, let's just be two girls. One of them exists and the other one doesn't. And I'll be in the wall, and we can do that.
Yeah, and so the way that this ties in is that the Black Cat found out and then threatened to expose them unless they delivered the notes as directed. So they are not the Black Cat, but they are the ones that have been delivering the notes. So you're like, ooh, the plot thickens.
And another thing I want to add on about this part is that not only do you see, like, the food that Rachel brought up here for Kim, you also see a violin and sheet music and stuff. And when you're up here is the only time where you're not hearing the violin music at night. And so as you're hearing the violin music at night, that's either Rachel or Kim playing at night, which I think is a really cool touch to have the violin there, so it's not like just an ambient music. It's an actual character doing this, which I just think is neat. I think it's cool.
It is. I like it. Okay, so that's pretty much all you can do, I think, without going to sleep. So if you go back to bed, when you wake up the next day, it'll be snowing outside.
Like it is right now with me. It is snowing outside right now.
Oh, it's definitely not snowing for me. It is currently 64 degrees outside for me.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, we have one more warm day, and then it'll finally be dipping down into the 40s. And I actually have a low of in the 30s on Saturday night, so I'm really excited about that.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty chilly for my neck of the woods, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's snowing in the game, and I personally think the snow effect is pretty good.
I like it. It's pretty.
It is pretty. It's not, I don't think it looks too bad. I think it looks pretty good. So, now that we have all of our little star burst things, like, star coins, we can do the puzzle that relates to them. So, back down in the cellar, there's that weird panel on the wall that has all of the weird star-shaped holes. And then if you look at the list in the front of the Black Cat book, or the Poe book or whatever, the two things go together. So basically how this works, and I think this is kind of a difficult puzzle, again, if you don't really know what you're looking at.
I hate it.
But once you kind of, like, know what to do, I think it makes a lot more sense. So basically it's like, if you label each star-shaped indent as, like, a number, basically you take the list, it's the same amount of titles in the list in the book. So basically you have to take the list and you have to reorder the list based on month and year that it was published. And then 4 of those titles correlate with the 4 animals that you have on those little stars. So then if you find out that like the gorilla is the like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th one that was published. So the gorilla goes in the 6th slot. So that sort of thing. So you put the 4 where they go, and then the slats fall off, and there is a map there, and also a picture of Rita Hollowell and her cat Usher, which is basically a lost photo that everybody thought you'd never be able to get. And so you got it because Nancy is the best and she can do anything. So anyway, take a picture of that picture because then you're going to upload it to the website and get everybody super excited about it, but it doesn't actually matter because you don't actually go here. So the credits you get mean nothing in the end. Which I just think is funny. So you go back to the library, you upload all the iconic Waverly photos, you go to talk to Rachel, she'll tell you if she likes them or not. When she finally likes them, she says, oh, now we just need to go get the paper that Corinne wrote that everybody loved, all the faculty loved, and we're going to upload it on the pen to paper thing on the website. So you're like, okay. So Nancy walks back to Corinne's room, blah, 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 blah. And once again, we don't get anything for free. Because now Corinne wants snacks. So snack time again. So we're going to go...
Yay, snack time.
Yep. And then as we turn to leave, we get a black cat note. You were warned, now you'll pay. With like I always think the little swipey paw is really cute. Is that weird of me?
It's like, oh, I like cats so little. Meow, paw.
Yeah, meow.
Even though I'm giving you death threats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's quirky. It's fun.
We're not like other girls. Sorry.
I'm not like other girls. I send death threats with cute little paw prints.
Yeah, exactly. So we go make the snacks. We bring the snacks. Corinne gives us a USB stick. We go upload it to the website. And then I think the next time you talk to Izzy, she tells you that her essay was completely erased from her computer. So now she's freaking out and panicking. And then the next time you go to your room, Corinne will not be there, but there will be a note on her desk. One has Izzy's password, like computer password, and it says something like reformat or something like that. Steps to reformatting. I'm looking at the picture here. And then there's another sticky note that says cellar. So it's kind of like in Shadow Ranch when it's like green bottle under, stairs to cellar, but this time it's just cellar. So now we go back to the cellar and we have the furnace making weird noises, and if you look at the furnace, you'll see a little what's this called? Like a schematic or something, and it has a bunch of it's like basically numbered all of the little switches on it. And how long did this take you to figure out what number sequence you had to put in here?
I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it?
No.
Me either, because I think I probably spent 45 minutes to an hour trying to find a number sequence anywhere in the game to put this in. It took me forever to figure out that you use the chant numbers to flip the switches. So, yeah, very frustrating.
I knew it was the chant numbers, but for some reason, my brain would not compute with how to use them. And so I just was freaking out for like an hour about it, and then I had to get off, and I'm not going to talk about the rest of the time I used before I actually grabbed a walkthrough and solved it with a walkthrough.
Yeah, I don't
By
remember.
a walkthrough, I mean the Her Interactive message
forums.
boards.
Yeah. I feel like I may have had to turn to the forums as well for this, because I
Yeah.
just remember being so lost, and I was like, I don't understand, like, did I miss a puzzle? Did I miss, an exploration piece? And everybody's like, oh no, if you've seen this, you technically already have the solution. And I was like, huh? And I still didn't
Yeah.
understand until somebody just had to straight up tell me. Like, it was the chant. And I was like, oh. So anyway, you put that in. It opens up a door behind the furnace, and you walk into this weird room. And who comes out of the back room being all gloaty and despicable and cruel and borderline murderous? It's Corinne. And I've never been able to look at her the same since I played this game. She is the worst. And lots of Nancy villains are bad, but she just is high up there for me. And anyway, I already mentioned that.
Yeah.
Then she basically you step on this thing and it starts this puzzle, and she's like, oh, ha ha ha, guess you're gonna die. And then she takes the manuscript or whatever, the last Poe manuscript, and she bolts. And Nancy is trapped in this room, and there's a swinging scythe, sharp metal thing that's swinging and lowering as you take time. And
But like, I love her villain monologue so much.
yeah, it's good voice, and it's good voice acting. Like, kudos to the actress.
And also the animation was so good for it as well.
This is true. I think that this is one of the more... I feel like this era was when they were kind of starting to play around with, like, the cinematic effect.
Definitely.
Like, I feel like it kind of started with Castle Malloy, and then it went through, like, Ransom, and then into this, and then it just continued. But I really like the cinematic, like, cutscenes in this game. I think they do a really good job with those.
But yeah, so her whole thing was that she didn't care as much about being valedictorian as what the main thing was with what Nancy suspected she wanted by doing the Black Cat stuff. What she really wanted was the diary or what was it? Was it Edgar Allan Poe's diary, or was it his?
It's either his diary or his like last manuscript that was never published.
Yeah, that Rita Halliwell hid away so it wouldn't be in bad hands or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was her whole thing, because she did a bunch of research on Edgar Allan Poe that she found out about this, and she's like, I'm going to keep this to myself, and I'm going to find the diary. I'm going to kick everybody out so I can do as much work behind the scenes as I want here. And then, like, you know, find it and become the person who found Mr. Poe and stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So this final puzzle, I understand how it works, but I never know the solution. It's always just like click until I get it. So you like slide these like 4 outer pieces one at a time into the middle, and you pull the handle, and it basically like drops down all of the colored tiles that line up, and then it rotates a quarter turn. And then you choose another thing, and you do it again. And so you just keep doing it. But you only get 4 picks before it resets. And I think, depending on how fast you go, you may be able to try 5 or 6 times before you game over. But is there a strategy to this, or is it literally just click until you figure it out?
Like, solution for it?
Yeah.
And if I'm just trying to do like a speed through, I'll just have the solution handy.
So there is like a
yeah.
solution. It's not like a
Yeah,
random...
there is, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, it's
Yeah.
confusing. And at least it doesn't take very long to like reset if you die. You know what I mean?
At least there's that, you know?
Yeah. So you solve the puzzle and you make it through, and it opens out into Mel's bedroom. and you get this fun, weird cutscene of Mel blocking her door, and Corinne is like, you have to let me through. Like, you don't understand. You need to let me through. And Mel's like, I'm not letting you through until you explain to me what's going on, because you just came through my wall. And I think it's really funny, and I do like that cutscene as well. Also, Mel is very tall when she's standing.
Oh.
You can't tell when she's sitting behind her cello all game, but in this cutscene when they have her standing, she is so tall. And it makes me think I wonder if she wears like platform shoes or anything, which would be on brand. But if not, she's just insanely tall. She's much taller than Corinne.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's Waverly Academy. We did it. We beat the game.
Well, but then the after thing, yeah.
Oh, go ahead and sum it up.
Yeah, so basically afterwards, they don't tell you who won valedictorian. They just are like, oh, it's a really close race between the people who are qualified and stuff. Because Corinne was kicked out, obviously, for everything she did. Rachel and Kim were also kicked out because of academic dishonesty, and also, it was just really weird. But then people sympathized with them so much that they both got full ride scholarships, even though they did lose their valedictorian candidate status. But they got to finish school together, so that's good. But the rest of the girls, Izzy, Leela, and Mel, are still in the running for valedictorian, and we do not know who won. And before I end this, I will say one of the biggest disappointments in this game, having Bess's number on your phone and not being able to actually talk to her. That's it.
So
That's all.
in your headcanon, who won?
Mel.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Like, I just feel like Mel would just, like, she'd just do it, because I feel like, I don't know, I like Mel, and I feel like she's smart enough to get it without, somebody sabotaging her by saying she's a plagiarist and stuff.
Right. And I feel, I just want the faculty to be like, because obviously they find out that Nancy's not a student, right?
Yeah.
So, I think at that point Nancy should just be like, this is my experience, and as she's telling the faculty her experience, they could be like, wow, Leela and Izzy are also like too wrapped up in gossip and stuff, so who's the least problematic among all of our valedictorian candidates? Mel? Okay, she's getting valedictorian. But I know it doesn't have everything to do with being unproblematic, so,
Yeah.
But, okay, so that was the plot and mystery. Do you have any specific thoughts about characters?
I like Mel and her character design a lot. I think all the characters were designed very well.
Yeah.
With the exception of Leela's eyes.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really like the way the characters were designed. I think that Rachel and Kim especially look very realistic. Because, like, I actually have, like, met people who do look, like, just like that.
Uh-huh.
And I like the little touch of, like, the whole hair, like, falling and having to, like, put it behind her ear, because
I also like that
Rachel,
her nose is usually a little
Yeah.
pink. Mine does that, and I have to cover it with powder a lot.
Yeah, it's
so-
cute. I like her
yeah.
pink nose. It's adorable. Or their pink noses, because
Yeah.
there's two of them. But yeah, I really, like, for me, I do really like the characters, because they do feel accurate to, like, how actual teenage girls are. Especially those teenage girls who are, like, in a very academic environment and stuff. Because I remember playing this a lot when I was in high school, and I really liked it as a high schooler. I still like it as an adult and everything, but, I just felt I liked the characters. I know you have different views, but I liked the characters.
Yeah, and that's fine. The characters, for me, they're very difficult for me to connect to. I don't think that's necessarily the fault of anything, other than I think it may just be me and, like, my experience with them. And, like, I do like Mel the best of the characters. The, like, pettiness and gossip stuff, like, really annoys me, and I fully admit that, like, that's accurate to high school situations a lot of times, and, you know, even just teenager situations in general, not necessarily just at school, but
Yeah.
because of that, it's hard for me to like not just get irritated with them for a lot of the game. And so my perspective of them is a little bit lower than average, I guess I would say. But I do think that each character does serve their purpose in the story in a good and appropriate way. It's just the personalities themselves that I have a lack of patience for, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. So that's just my perspective on the characters, but
Yeah, I can see it.
mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
next is the
music?
music. Slade.
Yeah. I do really enjoy the use of like real orchestral pieces, like
Yeah.
famous pieces that were used in this. And I really, really appreciate that. If I remember correctly, this is one of the few games that Kevin Manthe did not do any music for.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was like, this is a very rare occasion.
Yeah, so I think if I remember correctly, he had said that they really wanted to use like the classical pieces, and then the other couple pieces that are not classical were done some other way. I don't think he did them. So I don't know if they were just outsourced somewhere else, or if it was
Yeah.
like music that they licensed or anything like that. I'm not entirely sure. But I think the music is good and appropriate for the game. But sometimes I do wish, like, what would Kevin Manthe's Waverly Academy have sounded like? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can get
So.
that.
Yeah.
It's a good one though.
It is good, yeah. Puzzles?
Also Slade, except for 3 notable ones.
Yeah. I think overall the puzzles are really solid, and I think they're a good balance of like using your brain without like frustrating you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them are just like really they fit academia, and I think the
Yeah.
nice thing about it being in a school setting is that you can do a lot of different subject matters for the puzzles, and it all makes sense because it's school. So like
Yeah.
you're obviously already learning a bunch of different subject matter for school.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that part does make a lot of sense.
Do you have a favorite puzzle in this game? Other than Snack
think.
Shop. Because obviously Snack Shop slays.
Yeah, obviously Snack Shop. I don't know. I think it might be the logic puzzle where you're putting all the candidates' photos in the correct places
good
if their
one.
majors and names and stuff.
Yeah, that's a really solid one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think for me, it might be either the logic puzzle that you mentioned or the orthographic views. I like that puzzle.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's all the thoughts I really have for puzzles.
Okay.
But if we're gonna go for like mini games, Snack Shop.
Snack Shop. Oh,
Snack Shop. Oh, I love Snack Shop. Yes, the Snack Shop. It is iconic. I love it. So the next is atmosphere and setting, and
Very lovely.
Yes. Oh, like the atmosphere and the setting for this game is a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Just, it's so good. Like everything.
I like the feeling
from.
of. I was gonna say I just like the feeling of like the school being explained to you as being bigger than just this building, which I think helps because the building itself that the game takes place in is not very large, but because you are like actively told that this is just one building in the school complex, it kind of helps overall the game feel bigger than it actually is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that helps. It does help a lot. Yeah, it's just a wonderful environment, and then you get to the snowy part where it's snowing outside, and that makes it even better. I just love it. It's so good.
It's like all the warm wood tones and like yellow bulbs in the lamps, and
It's so good.
like book spines and
hello,
leather
Sunny.
and
Oh,
the
Sunny has
snow
come to say
outside.
hello again.
Yeah.
So yeah, the environment of this game is just so perfect for me. It's just very, very cozy.
I would say that
Isn't
if
that right,
you
Sunny?
are like a
He's never
fan,
played this.
if you are like not an, if for any reason non-Nancy fans are listening to our podcast, I would say that like Waverly Academy, you would be a fan of Waverly Academy if you are a fan of other cozy or dark academia vibes, like in general. So, things like the Netflix show Wednesday, or the Umbrella Academy, or things like that. If those are vibes that you enjoy, you would probably enjoy the vibes of this game.
Yeah. Like, I've heard some people who like Gilmore Girls like this. I've never seen Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls?
I don't know, because of the way they dress and stuff. I don't know. And school stuff. I don't know. I've never seen it. I just heard something, maybe on Facebook. I don't know.
I'd be interested to dig into that more. I've seen very small bits of Gilmore Girls. I would not consider myself a fan of the show. I don't know enough about it to make an educated guess.
I'm trying to think of other like school things. Maybe if you like Harry Potter, but I'm not really into Harry Potter because Joanne kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, the atmosphere and setting of this game is just peak boarding school winter dark academia awesomeness.
Yeah.
I haven't even mentioned the library. The library is freaking gorgeous.
It's a beautiful, beautiful setting, yeah.
I would have fought Corrine with my bare hands to have the role of like the library assistant thing. I would have fought her, like physically.
But then she
I'm
would
talking
just poison you with whatever you were allergic to.
I would bite her, okay? I would punch her. I would like grab her by the arm and bite her and be like, "Give me your job."
That's funny.
Like, I would challenge her to a physical fight. I'd be like, "You, me, by the tree at midnight. We're gonna fight for this."
Yeah.
And Paige would catch us both and give us demerits, and neither of us would take a position, given that Corrine would show up. But anyway.
Totally fair. Okay, so your rank?
I would give this one a 7 out of 10.
Okay. I'm gonna give Waverly a solid 5. It's average for me, middle of the road. I like it. I don't dislike it. It's just average for me. I think it's got some really good things and some things I don't really care for as much, but yeah.
Yeah. I'll send you that picture later, but anyway, Sunny, I think, would like Waverly Academy because he likes cozy things and also snacks.
Oh,
and
same.
If you like cozy things and snacks, you will like this game. And now I am craving a warm cheese, meat, lettuce, tomato bagel.
Go have a delightful dinner of those things.
I wish, but I don't have bagels with me.
Ah.
Or lunch meat. I do have ground beef. I don't think that would be good for a bagel sandwich, even if I don't have bagels.
Well, do you have any other thoughts before we wrap up?
The game slayed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's a solid one. And
it's a good one.
Happy holidays from
happy
us to you.
holidays.
We're gonna take a small holiday break and we'll be back after the new year, so enjoy all of your lovely winter holidays, and
Yes, have
time
fun.
with loved ones and all of the cozy vibes that come with holidays. So,
And if you have a cat or multiple cats, kiss your cat. Sunny is on top of me and insisting that I tell you guys to pay attention to your cats if you have them.
important.
Very important. Cats are more important than anything else. I hope you guys know that.
Oh, we're learning.
Oh yes.
All right, everybody. Well, have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening. We'll see you after the new year, so in a few weeks. And until then, take care and stay sleuthy. Bye.
Bye.